Okay, it's a Tuesday. I can't remember the date, and it feels like pure chaos, organized chaos out here. I've made quite a mess. Just stuff strewn everywhere. The other day, I finally got this bed over here tilled, which for me is quite the chore. I was telling family and friends it was like 7 hours of like manual hard labor. These beds that I've inherited are mostly clay soil. I think the years of being in Portland, rains just like totally like beat them down. And I think a lot of the nutrients were just like leached out of the soil. These beds were really abandoned and neglected when we came into this property. So yeah. In any case, it might have started off as good soil, but it is not anymore. Now, I have done amending every year. As you can see, I'm about to plant some things, and I always amend the hole with like potting soil, some sort of like compost, or I think I got something called like, what is this stuff called? Harvest Supreme. Has like, all kinds of good stuff in it to, help the plants out. And then I sprinkle a little bit of the EB Stone organic plant food in each hole. These holes are smaller than I normally go because what I'm planting might be a lost cause at this point. Unfortunately, my zinnias are root bound in these little tiny cups, and some of them are even trying to flower. So, I hate to put too much effort into planting so many of them. Got that whole tray, and then over there, that patch, and that patch. So I'm gonna get them in the ground and see what happens, but I didn't go all crazy with the holes, and I gave them a little bit of fertilizer, and now the hard part of breaking up the root balls and trying to get them, into the ground without really damaging them even more. So anyway, luckily though, these four in the back were put into larger pots a few weeks ago, and so they are pretty healthy looking specimens. So that's good. And I also got my kale planted back there today. They also had larger pots, so I'm not concerned as much about them. This is always my struggle, trying to get all of the seedlings that I've grown the last few weeks into the ground, and the holdup is these garden beds. They just are incredibly time intensive, and with working, I just don't have a lot of extra time for that. So anyway, a few weeks ago, I did get this bed all tilled up and planted. I have all of my zucchini plants in the front here, 3 of them. I've got my 6 cucumbers over here, and then my tomatoes in the back. And then I do have a couple zinnias in the ground here as well. And I have to say, they're not really taking off very fast. So even though I had high hopes for zinnias this year, it's just very questionable on what I'll actually get as far as flowers go. My plants are not the most robust. Oh, hi, Bobo. So yeah, I just wanted to get some footage before I transplant everything. And then it'll be nice to see, if people have root-bound zinnias, I'll obviously have some footage at the end of the summer. You can see how they do. It's always, the question is, do I want to waste my time putting this plant that's already struggling into the ground? And the only way I'm going to get an answer to this question is if I do it. So that is the plan. Once I get the zinnias in, I can start with my teddy bear sunflowers and get other things planted, which will be great. And yes, so, all right, just a quick update here, and I'm going to get back to it. All right, over and out for now. Okay, it's the end of the day. It's about 9 o'clock, and I just came in. I was working all day out in the garden, and I got most of the bed planted. As you can see in the picture, I got all of the zinnias in. I got all my cosmos in, as well as 3 teddy bear sunflowers and 2 little marigolds, and of course all the kale. So all of that I planted today, and everything had to have a little bit of attention given to its roots. So as you can imagine, it was quite the task. Then I was like, oh, I gotta like rig up some like trellises because, we get a lot of heavy wind around here, and that's the last thing I need is a windstorm coming through and just like flattening out everything. So as you can see, I like hastily strung some string, attached to some strategically placed tomato cages, and yes. So that is all she wrote. I'm super excited to have that behind me. It was absolutely painful being hunched over like that. I do have a little stool that I sit on and I move it around because I couldn't just like squat. My knees can't take that. But my lower back really pays the price for being, squatted down on a stool and then bending over. And also, whoever designed these garden beds made them way too deep. And I think it's like 4 feet by 8 feet. 4 feet is just too much, in my opinion. I would have gone with 3 feet myself because when you're trying to plant in the very center, it's really hard on the back. Really, really hard. So, anyway, I just wanted to end this video with a picture of what it looks like, and I'll be back in a few weeks to show how everything is faring. Okay. Well, thanks for watching, and over and out for now.